It'll be on the same thing. Are you rolling? Right? Yeah. Like, what do I need to say? Like, hey guys, what's up? We just did our first podcast.
We've just wrapped up with Jamie Rose.
I did. You fucked me up.
Wow!
And that's gone. Okay, great. Hey guys, what's going on? We just finished recording our first ever podcast
With Jamie Rose, chatting a little bit about the music industry.
What's going on in her life, what we're doing, what's going on in Brisbane, also
What it's like to be a musician and an artist.
We're going to start this series. We're going to try and interview a lot of interesting people for you.
This was our first podcast, so we did have a few little hiccups. Do excuse us. Cheers. This is the Ink on the Couch podcast. This is something new that we're looking at doing, where we chat to people in the music, arts, and entertainment industry. Hopefully, inform some of the filmmakers, artists, and musicians out there, and just have a little bit of a casual chat. So, Nick,
what's up? I'm Nick.
Other third of Ink on the Couch, and we've got Jamie Rose on today. How you doing?
That's good. I'm good. How are you?
Looking fly. Got the shades on.
Yo, always.
Right.
Yo,
We've had a few technical difficulties today.
We've had none. It's been rolling sweet.
Oh, wait, yeah,
Don't
right.
know what
Sorry.
he's on about at
Yeah,
all.
just shut me up quick.
No.
But I'll kick it off. We caught up with Jamie last week. We did a separate little interview, and that was pretty fun. Hey, that was probably like, from the interviewee's perspective, that was a really fun one to do.
Oh,
I like
dope.
the setup you had, but you guys will get to see that anyway, so we won't talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
that too much. But off that, we got to like get to know you a little bit, and we kind of delved into like your upbringing. But tell us a little bit more. We were on the podcast, so we have a bit more time today.
Right.
What's the childhood look like? What was the childhood like? Tell me about your come up.
Oh, it was pretty good actually. Like, went to a private school. I was kind of like the real chubby kid in school, so like automatically like low self-esteem. So I'd like lock myself in like the music rooms, and kind of that's like where it all went down.
That's where it started?
Yeah, pretty much.
What are we talking like?
Oh, I like.
Jinx, by the way, Nick.
Yeah. Just, I don't know, primary school, like 6, 7. I like was doing music class, like piano when I was in grade 2.
Yeah.
So it's like I already had access to like music rooms when I was that
Sure.
young. So
You really started early. I started
Yeah.
like, I'm still into music, but we started doing this like a year ago. So you knew
Yeah, not even.
You knew what you were
Hell
doing
yeah.
like early on.
yeah, it's always been plan A,
Yeah,
plan
it's
B,
like you
plan
said,
C.
it's like you said. So, rude question, but like for the viewers, how old are you now?
Oh, I can't give that sort of information away.
That's
Oh.
That's fine. It's up,
I
it's
like
up to
I
them
like to keep
find
them
out
guessing,
now.
you know.
So that's cool. I mean,
That
we can leave everyone
that
guessing.
really makes you question. I'm like, what?
Yeah, how old do you think I am now?
No. This is up to interpretation. Let's leave it at
Yeah.
that. Let's leave it at that.
It's up.
Yeah, the smile is young. The smile's young. The eyes are.
Wise.
They got some history.
Yeah,
I
right.
think.
So we
Can we chat a bit more about, like, you know, we've sort of talked about a little bit like how you got started playing like you locked yourself in the music room. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play like punk rock.
Yeah, oh, pretty much, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Right, but like,
Heavy metal.
what is it like? Like even like something as silly as like what was like the first instrument that was like I'm gonna play this, like I'm gonna give it a go.
Oh, facts.
Like I can't play the piano, but the first thing I tried to play was the piano.
Like the triangle.
Yeah.
No, I remember like grade 1, like, you know, being in choir, and you just like want to be. I think at that age you just want to anything different you want to do. So it's like when the opportunity came, you're like, I want to play that shaker thing, like, and you wanted to be the one person who got to like keep the beat.
Yeah, totally.
that was me every time.
So the shaker marimba.
Yeah, you know, like they've got some like weird like seeds on like a hand.
Yeah.
thing. I don't even know what it's called. It's just made out of some weird stuff, makes some really nice noises. Yeah. Or the rain thing, you know?
The
Dude,
the rain
what
stick.
the
Yes,
heck?
yes.
I know what this is.
They're like it's about
It's
yay
foreign to
long,
me.
and it's like full of little beads, and you tip it, and it's like.
Yeah, and it's
That's
not. It's
not how it sounds though.
good try. Yeah.
And so, when do you think you've loved music your whole life since grade 2? You've been playing. When did you really start like making music with people and like finding people around you who were like into the vibes as well?
I like did a rock band in like grade 8. And
Name?
dude. No, I can't.
Please.
Dude, I don't even know what it was, but I like played drums for that band, dude. Yeah, it was crazy. It was just like a school band, and that was really dope. And then it kind of like moved to
How many songs?
How many songs?
Oh, damn it. I really am like hoping that there's something out there on the internet.
Dude, no, okay, you know what? I used to work at a recording studio in grade 11 and 12, and I, in Archerfield, actually.
Right.
And when I was there, I, like, recorded an EP. And I put it out on my first YouTube page, and I can't access that YouTube page and take it down, bro. So bad, bro. It's like, it's so embarrassing. It's like, it's next level. It's like, woo, some different vibes.
Links in description. Links in description.
She can't take it down.
No, so yeah, so that was.
Well, better
kind
yet,
of
if we don't find it and the link's not in the description, and you knew Jamie back then, just put it in the comments. Just chuck it in there.
No, you should report it.
Get it down.
Please.
What sort of like recording studio was that? Was that like a proper like studio or?
Yeah, it's still
and that was
there.
your first recording experience?
Yeah.
That's
I was
crazy.
doing like work experience because grade 11 and 12 I didn't really do OP. I would have dropped out if I didn't do vocational education, which is like you do tape one day of the week, so it's a Tuesday for me, and I did that for 2 years. Okay. And then every Friday I would go and do work experience. So I worked in like a studio on Friday, and then that kind of switched up a year later, and I worked in at Light Sounds in the Valley. It was like a DJ light. Yeah.
I
know. I think I know where that is. They're like right on. I don't know the name of the street, but
it's close to New Farm, but yeah.
Wings.
Yeah.
Things he does.
Dude, those wings were actually the best I've ever had in Oz. Like, facts.
Spicy. I was suffering. Like, I
Suffering.
thought I was good with spice.
It was
I
like-
looked across the table at Jay like, these wings are good. Look at you and you're like sweating.
Yeah, dude, it's just like the napkins we had. It was just like, but they're so good. Like, yeah, it was crazy.
Shout out Hellbound if you guys are in
Dude,
Brisbane and you know
so
where that is.
good.
It's Wednesday nights, right? Wednesday nights, 50-cent wings.
50 cents per wing.
Yeah.
Get like a lot.
But yeah, no, I was
Worth
going
it,
to say,
so
so your first recording experience was in a studio. Have you ever recorded in like some sketchy ass home studio?
Like my house, like
Is that
currently,
I'm
no,
talking, like,
I'm joking.
Have you ever like recorded like in a closet or like something that was just like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, just because you had to do it, like.
Dude, of course. In Vancouver, I was like staying at a friend's place, and the best sound was like this closet. So we like pushed the clothes to the side, and like they actually locked me in there, and it kept like opening, so they actually like tied it up, and then I was like. Like singing was like nervous because I was like, this is the end, isn't it? This is where
like
I die.
They just hit record and left. We're like, we'll be back in an hour.
Yeah.
Like, make the song.
Dude, like, oh man, it's not cool. But I've been in hotels as before where I'm like holding onto a mic and I've got like a sheet over my head, and then like obviously Oz is so hot, so you're like sweating and you're like, you can seeing the drips and you're like, I'm nasty.
I've had friends who
That was
like,
big today.
Yeah.
I've had friends who have recorded like that, and they get like a duvet, like a big doona.
Yeah.
And mic is in the cupboard, and like they can't close the doors, so they're just like big doona over you.
Yeah.
Just, like,
Dude,
recording
I know,
in,
it's
a
like,
little,
it's a team effort,
igloo.
honestly.
Actually, no.
But such a
what
good
was
sound.
the song that you're telling us about that you did it in the like the box with the earplug?
Agnes Water.
That's a like.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you were telling us a little bit of the story after the last interview.
Yeah.
Can you tell it again? Because like I love that.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, when I was at like.
Yeah, sure. Is it just that camera? Or the other camera?
Elevator music.
Oh yeah, dude, I went through some weird elevator music the other day. Like actually in an elevator. Like I was stoned as shit. And I was like in the elevator and I'm there and this dude was just making some weird ass noises. And I was like he was like and I was like
like sort of like sexual
like
kind of
grunting noises. And then like my room was like the 11th floor obviously, and like 5 people had to like stop, and I was like, dude, it needs to stop. Dude, I was like, this is so weird. Dude,
like that loud?
Almost, yeah. But I was so big, so it could have just been amplified, but it was like
That doesn't was it Oz or was it
oh yeah,
Van?
this was
Van?
like
No,
last
Oz or
week,
Van?
bro.
I like-
Weed.
Oh.
Like I'm trying to like figure out like if there's like a trend
Oh,
here.
it was Van.
Oh shit.
No. It was just, that's why I was like not paranoid. I was just like, I was like, I was trying not to laugh, bro. I was just like, is this
was
dude
like-
serious? Like,
what's up?
Don't worry, boo.
We're back.
I got you.
Gotcha.
Let's talk about the tattoos because you sound like you had a pretty interesting story there. And I can see a couple on you. You got a few on your hands,
That
and
one,
I've
that one,
like.
there.
I really hope
The plane. I want to know the plane.
Okay.
Are we on, by the way?
Show the camera just so like they can actually see what we're talking about here.
And flex.
Bam, there it is.
Okay. I really hope he's watching. All right, so 2019. No, 2019. We're in 2019. Was good. 2015. Left to Canada, and I left with somebody, just a friend. And yeah, basically like it was terrible from the start. Super like controlling person, like liked me in a way that I didn't want him to, and I was like, bro, we told you know we had this thing from the beginning that it was gonna be
Not this,
chill,
yeah.
and now you've ruined it, and like you know you can't really go back once someone said something. So I was like, bro, don't tell me this the day before you're gonna like go. Anyway,
Oh, this is before you're gonna leave.
yeah. So anyway, so we like in Canada, I was like, fuck it, it's fine. We're gonna do our thing. And anyway, a year and a half later, we were in Toronto together, and we just like by this stage we absolutely hated each other. I don't know why we hung out.
Wait, so a year and a half had passed.
Yeah.
Okay, just to
So, like,
clarify,
you
I was
know,
like, just casually a year and a half.
Vancouver, like we went to trail and snowboarded together. We just really parted ways on very different like levels of thinking. He also played like computer games like League of Legends, and you know it's cool, but I fucking hate games now.
Yeah.
Like would be aggressive, like super aggressive, and like but take it out.
Just
on
thinking
me.
of like those YouTube
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just yeah, but like you know I'm living there and like you know
Yeah,
you
yeah.
and he'd be mean to me, and I was like, okay, I'm just asking if you wanted dinner. Like,
Yeah.
So, anyway, so we went to Montreal, and I feel like this was like our last trip together. We both like had wanderlust, you know. We love traveling,
Sure.
we love snowboarding. Anyway, so we went to Montreal, and he just like pissed me off, man. He pissed me off. Didn't. It was like our last day in Montreal, and I was like, you know what? We should get a tattoo,
like on
bro.
edge.
Yeah. I was like, yo, you haven't got a tattoo? I think it would be like so totally cool if we got a tattoo together. My plan was that we would choose a tattoo to get together, and he would go first, and I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
This is getting.
This is dirty.
Yeah, this is some petty shit.
No, this-
This is like old me.
But
Anyway.
no. This is like.
Bro.
Anyway,
So
continue.
I was
Back to the
this
story.
is
Back
gonna
to the story.
be awesome, yo. This is gonna be so.
Wanna catch this.
God. And I can't remember what actually went down, but I ended up going first. I'm pretty sure I went. Yeah, I think I went first, and I was like, "Fuck this!" Like I hated this tattoo.
The
like, It
plane.
looks like a stamp.
The plane.
Yeah,
I like
hated
the plane.
it,
It
Yeah,
was
So
my
was the
favorite.
idea like to get the same tattoo or?
yeah, I wanted
Yeah.
matching tattoos, but then like he would get one and I wouldn't, and
Yeah.
I basically wanted him to like remember me for the rest of his life,
Oh.
being like, "Yeah, you travel with me." Basically,
tattoo
and
hurt?
so now
Yeah, yeah.
we both have the same tattoo, and I hate it every time I look at it.
Yeah.
Anyway, like with me and tattoos, I don't really like see them as a crazy thing, you know, like
Yeah.
you know, sometimes I get drunk and I like tattooed my foot like stick and poke, and
Yeah.
then other times I'm like, oh, I'm really think about this, and I'll get these on my hands or whatever.
You have like a few. You have like I'd say quite a lot
I
of
have like
little
15.
ones. And I'm gonna be that white old person. What's the meaning behind that one and this one? But you got YVR on your arm.
So Madeline Duke, the girl I was talking to you
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
we got the same one together because we met in
Cool,
Vancouver.
cool.
Sure.
And we were like, let's like get the mountains or the city. Like we didn't really want that. We wanted something. And I know it's like the airport. People are like, oh, you're gonna get like, you know.
There's a real like
Toronto on
airport
there.
airplane theme going on.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was like a travel crazy thing. But yeah. Anyway, so that we like got lit
Yeah.
and
Got
got
YBL.
in
Hell yeah.
Cali. Yeah.
Cool.
That was awesome. But yeah, that was really cool. So some have really cool meaning. This one I was trying to do satin. I was like doing stick and poke, and then it hurt so bad, and it took me like 2 hours, and I was like,
Fuck
that
it, it's a
line.
circle.
Yeah, it's a circle now.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that you have like probably like you have a few on your hands, and I don't have any tattoos myself, but I have like talked to people. Yet don't watch. Sorry, Dad. But as in like most people don't go straight to their hands. Like, I've even heard that some tattoo places, they won't tattoo your hands unless you actually have tattoos elsewhere. Like, are they done by yourself or like people?
They were originally.
Yeah.
And then the dude like did them. But I got
But
them,
they're only small, like they're nothing
I
too
got them
crazy.
all done with that and like a music note and like a big ass like hot air balloon on my back.
Solid.
Cool.
That's crazy. That was all in
cool,
Melbourne. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just do
Just
what
like
I
another
want,
form
dude.
of like expression, I
I
guess.
don't
Hey.
like think of these things, especially like, you know, people like, oh, I've got to work. You know, I can't like have things on my body. Whereas I'm just like, I am who I am, and I do things clearly.
Just don't get
that
anything too crazy on your face, and you should be right.
Yeah, no. So I don't think I'm gonna. I mean, I want like a lip tattoo, like one in here.
Oh yeah.
But they fall out after like 2 weeks, so I think I'll get it for like a music video and then.
Wait, do they not stay in there?
Not usually, no.
I didn't know
Nah,
that. I learned
so
something today. There
I'll
you
just,
go.
like, go on.
What would you get? Did you get a word,
It's
a
like
shape,
it's
or is
for
it a surprise?
for a music video, so.
Alright, they'll see it eventually.
it's-
We'll all
it's
see it
cool.
eventually.
It's gonna be interesting.
You got lots. I mean, like, you can depends who you compare yourself to, but you got like a bit of jewelry on. Are you much of a jewelry person, or
Not really.
just like not really? It's just what you
It was
find.
like
Any stories behind them?
I mean, my real one of these, my grandma gave this to me.
Oh, that's nice.
It's like a traveler Saint Christopher thing.
Do you remember that time, Jay? Where like I think it was like the last show we did. I was I don't know what I was doing, but there's this little like cassette or like something that's like got loads of tiny little squares and shelves in it in my mum's house, and she's had that for like as long as I can remember, and all the little bits haven't moved.
Oh.
And then one day, like, I was just walking out the house and I had like just put my chain on, which is just nothing. It's just, I just always wear it and I put it back on. And then I was walking out the house and I just noticed like a gold ring and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, what's this? And I like went to go, I was like, oh, I'll put this on my chain.
To put in
today.
perspective, this little thing that he's talking about, it's like a tiny little like shelf that's maybe like 10 mil deep, and there is like maybe like something like 100
100 or
little
200.
little like little
So, like-
squares, and there's like
That's
all
so
these,
cool.
all these
There's
different
loads
little
of shit in
trinkets in it. There's all
So
these
there's
little,
so basically there's like this big square thing
So
and
out
there's
of all
like
of this-
Full of
loads of tiny things and I saw it. And the date that I saw it was like the 30th of the 11th of something. And I was like, oh, cool.
Whoa.
Didn't think about it. Look on the
Yes.
inside of the ring and the same date's on there. I'm like, huh? And then
Wait,
it was the same date that my birth parents had like got married like years and decades ago. And I had like for the first time ever just seen it and I was like, whoa, like what a moment. And so like from like I wore it for like I remember like I got to like we were setting up a show. I was like, dude, like you'd never just imagine what happened in my life. It wasn't really that big though afterwards. I don't know. I'm still happy. No. I didn't tell my mom. I was worried that she'd get angry and I wore it for like she's gonna watch this. She's gonna love this. I wore it for like 2 weeks and then I forgot about it and then I just had it on my like shelf. She's like, Nick, why do you have my ring? And I was like, oh, and then I told her. She thought it was a cool story as well.
That is a
but
cool
the
stuff.
coincidences is
it was
like
just a weird coincidence. There's like one that makes like the hair and the neck
do you
stand up.
think like, you know, coincidences or it's
Oh, this is interesting.
destiny or like
right. Well,
Meant to
someone
be.
I had like a whole bunch of deja vus, and then someone was telling me like deja vu it means like you're on the right track in life, like that kind of thing.
About that while we're
Yeah.
eating wings.
Yeah.
But
Up the wings.
No, and that's the thing as well. There's like the whole I think it's the life number. You guys know about that?
No, not me, no.
TK Meister talks about it a lot. Is that how you say your name? I've actually never said it out loud. Wow, you know, like all
On
these
the
artist
stream.
names.
On the
you never
record,
say it
yeah.
out loud, you're like, whoa.
Am I saying that right? Am I
My bad, like,
in the
yeah,
comments?
she was talking about that, but apparently like also like reoccurring numbers like 1111.
my brother's
555
into this. My
means
brother is
that, like,
no.
means
See,
that you're on the right path.
no, my
It's really
no,
trippy.
no.
I've had no.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no.
pretty cool.
My little brother is always like, it's 12:12.
Yeah.
Guys, stops. We're
Well, it
like,
actually means certain things like maybe you're really positive in your life or you've made a change that's actually working out. It's basically like
maybe
angels or the universe telling you you're on the right path.
I've had like a few.
I'm gonna get a big ass told you so right now from my little brother because I'm always like,
It's
shut up.
crazy.
I like.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna
can't
happen.
really say I've ever been like that into it. And then like the last 2 years, you met Finn when you came in here.
Yeah.
I met him in like grade 9. We'd been friends for a while. But then we kind of started doing this thing and like other things in my life. And I just swear to God, like I'd have a conversation about something, and then like the next month, like something very helpful to that conversation would happen. Like just come someone, whether it's someone that came in my life or like someone was having a conversation.
Like, hey, you know that thing you said the other month?
Like, hey, that person is over there. That's really gonna help you. Like it's like things like that. And I was just like,
what drugs were you on?
None. But it's become like a little like, I guess, saying like within like my little friend group, like you said, like meant to be, like, oh dude, meant to be. Dude. And I'm like, shut up, exactly. Nah. But then you can't, like, some things you just can't ignore.
Yeah, I mean it's like interesting. It goes like in the conversation of like religions and like beliefs and stuff and all of that, you know, like, but it really just comes down to like what you believe in and like and what makes you happy, you take of that, you know, like the whole like.
And there's
Christian
a whole question of like
is,
how
like,
much of it.
Plan and everything that you do is
right.
part of the plan. It's like, well, I didn't plan to step in front of that car and die,
yeah.
but
then how much of it's placebo, right?
It's like, yeah.
Like really, like how much of it's placebo? Oh, 11/11 means something. Oh, okay, and then it like.
Yeah.
Then therefore it means something.
Yeah, exactly. It's really weird, but it's all an energy thing, and I'm big on energy and big on vibes, and I've realized just like lately that like through music and like the people I hang around and like I don't know the people I work with, it's all about creating a vibe and energy and just being like fucking genuine dope person. Like don't be a dick. Like that's what it comes to. Sure. Like our dick conversation before. Totally. It's like you don't have to be a dick if you don't have to be. Like,
okay, but
I kind of feel like, you know, being a dick is kind of like the. So
this is like let's do a scale.
But like,
let's do a scale.
Let's just like convert dick to like bad energy. Like if you're putting like your own energy into something that's like negative, like I feel like, you know, the energy thing. Like if you're like putting energy into something that's like not great, like someone drove past you or like cut in front of you, you get like that sets your day off for you. Like it's your own mental. And like for me, like personally, like my day-to-day basis, that affects me big time. Like if something small in my morning happens and I let it get to me, like, and I'm conscious that I'm letting it get to me, like, I need to stop that. Otherwise,
that's
like,
it. Like, it is.
You know, like,
and I was reading somewhere, it's like, you know, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of what you do from that point on.
Yeah.
Like
life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
There we go.
Yeah. I saw this thing like a long time ago on the internet. It was like if someone gave you like $10,000 and then, you know, you lost like, you know, something stupid like $10 and you spent like all this money and time and effort trying to find that or like get it back, like, you know, you have, and they converted it at the end to like the time in your day. Yeah. You're like, if something small happens and you end up spending so much more time to like, you know, fix that or like
spending
just
time
wasting
and money.
time.
Like if you lost that $10, you're like, shit, I think I left it at the restaurant. You go back in an Uber and you're like, oh, that's $30.
Yeah, no, like it's a weird like metaphor, but like it really is like facts. Like,
definitely,
you know.
and time is money.
Exactly.
Right. So like this is like probably like more like a personality sort of thing, but I guess it does sort of fit into like your like persona as an artist.
I don't think they can hear it. They can't hear it. It's weird. But like
leather
boots. But yeah, what was I gonna say? If you're like the whole thing, especially about like you mentioned before, like giving feedback, like and the differences like between Brisbane and say somewhere like, was it Vancouver? Yeah, or Toronto. Toronto.
I feel like Vancouver is very similar to Brisbane.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you like this is so like granular, but do you like have like a way that you like to give back feedback, generally speaking, like, or do you
like if someone
came to me like so if I say this is my song, like
I'm like it's shit.
Yeah.
It's just so shit. Quit what you can.
Stop wasting time.
Usually, I don't know. It's interesting. I used to like do you
like what level on the dick, like on the, you know,
from my perspective, it's like if someone's
on the bad energy scale,
I have to understand whether that person wants me to just be like, yeah, it's good, or if they actually want my opinion.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because like so many times, you know, people are posting like, I fucking hate group chats on Facebook, bro. Like, I will like be that person who's like leave immediately. But like, you know, you get added into a group chat or something like, do you fuck with this track? And it's like you give your honest opinion and people just take it as they like, you know, it's like, and sometimes I will spend time. Like if I like genuinely care about that person, I'm like, hey, I'm going to spend time to write you a little paragraph on what I thought of these certain parts, what I liked and what I didn't. Yeah. And people appreciate it most of the time. And then a lot of people are like, well, I don't fucking agree with you. Go fuck yourself.
But what about being on the what about being on the other side of the fence?
How do you mean? Like
as
Like
getting
getting
like
feedback.
getting
Yeah,
feedback.
yeah.
Well, that's where I'm like, I see it from my perspective,
Sure.
so I'm gonna only ask people who I know will give me genuine
Exactly.
feedback.
Of course.
I've like you said though,
No, it
I've
makes
seen
sense.
that a
It's
few
just-
times. People are asking for feedback, but like they're not really asking
Having
for
moments,
genuine
yeah.
feedback because like you give them some genuine feedback and then
Yeah.
oh, I'm a dick now for like
yeah,
being real
exactly,
with you.
but
Like
that's up to me and where I feel comfortable giving feedback, because it's like, also, if this person is gonna randomly, I get so many random people who hit me up and just like send me just like a SoundCloud link. Like back in the day, I used to reply to everybody. Now it's just like, it's a lot, it's too much, and also people like send me a SoundCloud link. It's like, dude, didn't even like take the time of like, hey, how are you?
yeah,
Like,
Excuse
I really-
me.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's like, I don't think it's like old school or like old time kind of mannerism. I think it's just like,
Mannerism.
yeah, like, you know,
Polite.
yeah, it's just like how it should be. And
You
it
wouldn't
should
walk
be
up to
carried.
someone on the street and be like, "That's my
SoundCloud
music,
link.
bro. Tell me
No,
about
no,
it."
unless
They
you're
do that in
vlogging.
Cali.
Unless you're vlogging.
Unless you're
Actually.
vlogging.
No, dude, actually they do that. So you know Venice Beach in Cali?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
You walk along the beach and people like come up to you with a CD. They're like, take my CD. And they're like really aggressive. And if you don't like,
Oh,
you have
yeah,
to keep
man.
walking,
Cheers.
and then if you grab it, then they're like $20. You're like, oh my God, throw it back.
I have a funny story.
No,
It's not like
but
CDs, but I was
kind of
in.
crazy. People
I was
like, it's basically
in-
the SoundCloud thing.
It's
Right,
crazy.
no,
Like
fair.
it's literally that is similar to this. So when I was in, fortunately went on like a family trip a long time ago, to Rome, and there'd be people that do that, but it was like with roses, and like they came up to our family,
Yeah.
and they'd give you a rose.
How
and
many
you,
roses did you guys get?
no, and you'd walk away, and when you walk away, like 2 minutes later, they follow you, and they'd be like, "Oh, hello, like that's $20, whatever," and like me being like this little kid, like caught onto that
Right.
pretty quickly, and my sister was there as well, and I honestly can't even remember if we actually did it. I gotta say, like, I think we did it, but basically we were like, I'm gonna get him to like give me the flower, and I'm just gonna fucking run and like just see what he does, and like.
Of course.
I honestly can't remember
I love
with
the
the
kid mentality. Like, absolutely no
I'm
fear.
gonna run.
I
No
know,
fear
in like some
consequences.
foreign
How much
country.
older is this guy than you? That's giving
Oh,
you.
he'd
You're
be like
yeah, so
40,
This
eh?
was like a year ago. Like,
But then we were somewhere else, and there was like gladiators, like people dressed up as gladiators, and like you'd get a photo and they'd like pay them for it.
Yeah.
And my dad, like when I was walking past, or like just took a photo, and he was like, he chased us for so long
Dude.
because he's like, he was furious. He's like, you must pay, and
You're
like
"Oh,
we're just like,
see
bro.
the view behind- I was gonna tell you, like,
It's
Don't
funny,
think so
but that's
much of yourself.
so that's what it was like at Venice Beach. I want to
Yeah.
go there, but I
No,
mean,
it's pretty crazy. It's
take
like,
a CD player with me.
It's kind of because you've got like these
Stacker
scary
man.
dudes,
You gotta
yo.
take
You
the
know, you've got like these huge guys with like big chains who are like from the,
Yeah.
trapping, yo.
Yeah,
And they're
trapping
like,
out
yo,
here.
this- I did this in my bedroom, and I mean, no offense, please don't come after me. But like, yeah, you've got these like scary people who are just like trying to force music down your throat. You're like,
Yeah.
And that's how I feel like with these DMs. It's like, at least hit a girl up and just be like, hey, what's up? I
Get her
Use the
into
emojis.
I would just, yeah, I'd really appreciate it if you like listen to my music. It's just like, yeah, it's the worst sliding into the DMs possible, honestly.
Well,
Terrible.
we can take a few notes from like this fucking podcast. Don't just fucking. I mean, like, you want to give everyone a shot, but like, don't
So-
just spam people. And I mean,
Cut the fat.
cut the
Cut
fat.
the fat. That's my biggest takeaway.
Be a human, bro. Like, if you see someone in front of you, just ask how they are, or just be like, what's good? What's good?
And don't be
Don't-
shy though.
Yeah.
I see-
And that's the other thing as well. Don't be shy.
But right,
like-
but see that's interesting because you're saying earlier you're saying like, oh, like sometimes I just lock myself in the room and I like do my thing and
Yeah.
but don't be shy. So like, what's the
Yeah.
balance? I know that's like
personally
on the
think-
spot.
Hard
That's
question.
Yeah.
on the spot, but
It's a
like,
great question, and I was talking to the guys at Prima about
yeah,
this.
sure.
And basically, I think that not taking the risk is the risk. Like, if you see
Yeah.
an opportunity that would benefit you and do well to your music, and you're willing to sacrifice everything for your music,
Yeah.
not taking the opportunity is the risk. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah.
not. It's not the risk.
No,
But
no,
it
I
is the-
get.
you know what I mean? So
I
it's
hope
like, I see
listeners-
something, and it's like, yo, like, you gotta risk it all. And it's like, no, you've just gotta, like, fucking do it, because that's what you have to do in order to
Yeah.
get what you want. The risk is doing fuck all.
Take a line from Nike.
Take a
Just do it.
No,
Just
for
do it.
real.
Sponsor me.
Thank you for coming. I don't know if you have to go, but like it's getting
Yeah,
a little
let's
late, so
wrap
we'll
it.
wrap it up. This has been the first podcast. Not sure how it's going to turn out. We had a few little hiccups.
It's been great.
But
if you have listened the whole way through, thank you very much.
If
Sincerely
you
appreciate
have
it.
been able to listen the whole way through.
That too.
But I mean, hey, if you got this far, then you obviously have. It's been Jamie Rose. Any last words? We do the thing. I guess you did this on the other interview, but any like words for anyone listening?
If you had to give advice to a stranger.
No, we did the advice already, but like fucking anything. Like what's happened? It's
to musician.
It's the 20th of March. Like, cut it. Like, say something at the end of this podcast right now.
One life to live. Don't live it being unhappy.
Okay. That's it.
That's
a
it.
wrap.
That's a good one.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Catch you guys.
Oh.